And suddenly the idea for this came up. It's probably been percolating for a while because I've always thought it'd be fun to tell the backstory about how a song came to be written. And so that's what happened with this, and then suddenly it just blossomed into this show. There's a song that I often use to end my shows that has a really sweet story. When I first got to LA, I started working almost immediately, and I worked a lot, but I wasn't on a series, so I still had a lot of free time between jobs. And I had all those kids' songs that were just gathering dust. In New York, a friend of mine who was involved with Big Brothers in Brooklyn had asked me to come and sing for one of their get-togethers. So when I got to Hollywood, I contacted the Big Brothers there and asked them if I could sing for their kids. And I ended up singing for Big Brothers of Greater Los Angeles, Catholic Big Brothers, Jewish Big Brothers, Big Sisters. It was great. I love singing for kids because they're the most honest audience there is. But by now I'd sung for all the Big Brother organizations, and so through a friend, I met this woman who was superintendent of schools in Lawndale, California. Lawndale is a small, racially mixed, relatively poor community south of LA. I think there were 6 schools in her school district. One of them was called William Green School. And after I'd sung for all those kids, I got together with the superintendent for lunch one day. And when I arrived at her office, I saw this book made of large sheets of construction paper that had Chris on the cover. I didn't think much about it until she said, "Oh, that's for you. That's from a class of gifted and talented children at William Green School." Well, I took that book home with me and looked through it. Each of these kids, they were 3rd and 4th grade students in one classroom. Each of them had written me a letter and drawn a picture of one of the characters that I sang about. I couldn't believe it. I had become a school project. So I couldn't let it go without some kind of acknowledgement. So I wrote a poem with a couplet in it for each of the kids responding to something that they'd said to me in their letter. And then I called the superintendent and asked her if she could arrange for me to go to that classroom and present my poem. That was my first visit to room 13. It was in October. The school year in America begins in September and goes through the following June. Well, I got there, I presented the poem, I sang a few songs for them, and we bonded in a way that is absolutely indescribable. The teacher told me that any time I wanted to come back, I was welcome, announced or unannounced. I was there for room 13's Thanksgiving, I was there for Christmas, I was there for Valentine's Day. Anytime I was feeling low, I would just grab my uke, jump in my car, and drive to Lawndale. And it was always a party. The teacher would stop whatever lesson that she was in the middle of when I got there, and we would just have fun. One time, when I got there, they had a surprise for me. They sang, "There's no business like show business." They'd learned the whole song just to sing it for me. In April, a friend of mine asked me to sing one of my songs on the Easter Seals telethon that he was directing. I was to be there on Sunday morning. On Friday afternoon, I got a call from his production office asking me if I could get some kids to be around me when I sang. Well, the school day was almost finished, so I called William Green School and asked them to keep as many kids from room 13 there as possible until I arrived. When I got there and told the kids what it was about, they were over the moon. They were going to be on national television. Some parents brought them into my place Sunday morning, and from there we were picked up in a limo, all of us jammed into it, laughing and carrying on like lunatics. When they were on camera, they were perfect little angels, and the thing was just tremendous. Well, the end of the school year was approaching, and I wanted to do something special for Room 13. So I called the principal of William Green School and asked him if I could bring some friends out and do a show for the whole school, but I wanted Room 13 to be isolated from the other kids. One of my friends had been on Broadway, so she did a big dance number for them. I had some friends who were twins, and they sang for them. I did a few songs. And then I told Room 13 that I had a surprise for them. Now, since then, when I do this song, I've changed a few of the words just to make it more generic. But for them, on that day, this is how I sang a song for Room 13.
To be specific, I just love you. You're terrific. I wish I could see more of you. You've made my heart lighter than a feather. My days are brighter whenever we're together. You've made my world a beautiful place. You've put a lasting smile on my face. You've left a mark that will not erase. And what is more, you've thrown me. You've caught me. You own me as much as if you had bought me. Room 13 and William Green, I'll tell you once more what I mean. I love you.
Then they had a surprise for me. First, they made me a lifetime alumnus of William Green School. And then they gave me this beautiful plaque with a poem on it that was written by one of the girls. And it said, well, here.
Chris, you may have a song a special thing to be, but you are the most special guy in all the world to me. And all the little living things that live upon the earth, you have been a special thing since the start of your birth.
Young or old or in between, I'll tell you once more what I mean. I